All right. Hey, welcome everyone. Teller Community Call, June 8th, 2021. We got a good one for you today, so we'll just kind of jump right into it. So first, kind of some new things or older things. So the Ample proposal, it's still kind of ongoing. We've given them, as far as we know, everything we need, and it's in their voting system upgrade procedures. I think they're just testing it, going over some numbers internally, and hopefully that'll go live soon. But thanks for everyone who's been helpful on the Discord, answering people's questions. Just teaching them about Tellor, and of course, handling some link shills as well. But it's been really good to see everyone come in, and yeah, it's been going really well. Another proposal we're going to be putting forward here soon is the MC Dex one. It'll be kind of the same piece. We were going to put it in last week, but they actually extended the deadline to this Friday. So see it this Friday. We're still working out some of the final details with them, but that'll be probably the exact same deal. I think right now everyone's still just working that one. It's kind of up in the air because they're using Arbitrum, but Arbitrum is very, very new. So getting things launched on Arbitrum is proving a little more challenging. Other dev things, so all the disputes have been closed out. I think everything sort of is taken care of. If you haven't downloaded Telliot recently, there was a patch, and we'll be making a new Telliot here probably next week. So ideally, nothing should have changed for you, but we're just refactoring some things to make it a little bit more modular moving forward. So pay attention to that. If you're a Golang dev, want to help out, look at the new Telliot early, something like that. It's all up there now. So yeah, and now I guess the big news of today is we have a new Tellorscan. And who better to walk you through? I was just going to have him share a screen, tell us what he did, his vision for the whole product, than Ben. So Ben, you can take it from here.
Right. Thanks. Let me see here. Oh, you have to make me a host, Nick.
No, Ryan, just let him share his screen.
Yep.
Yep. All right. Okay, so this is it, the new Tellorscan. So the basic idea of this redesign of this kind of overhaul thing was to make it a little bit more human readable. So that it's not just tables, but that it's a little bit more, readable to a human being, I guess. So I guess let's connect already, and we can get going. So the first thing we will see is kind of the current event that's being fetched. Um, and so every event needs 5 miners, of course, to be complete. So this is indicated by each one of those things. So right now we have 4 miners. I think I should refresh real quick since I just switched to Readme here, just to show you guys what kind of the different states are that the miners could be in. So this is blank. Then when it's loading, that'll pop right up once the new request is fetched. I'll switch to these. Currently, there are no disputes to vote on. If there's a dispute, we should find that here. Here's where we find the past disputes and the status, kind of. Then one of the most important things for Tellor as being an Oracle is, of course, the prices that we put out. Oh yeah, the data came through from the current event. So we're looking for the 5th miner now. This is kind of the loader state, and once it's completed, it turns into that full green one, and then it fetches the new one. So that's kind of like how we constantly see that the network is live and that it's doing its thing, and thus producing these prices, these data points on chain. So we made that also like a bit more human readable, and they have a detailed view now. so you can zoom in on one specific ID, I guess, and do find some data there, and also do the tipping. We can find the latest minor values that were submitted for this ID, and then we can of course find all the mining events. So this is sorted on that specific idea already. So on that specific ID. Basically, this whole detail page is dedicated to one specific ID each time. Later, we can of course update this whole page. If we find more data on a specific ID or whatever, we can easily put that here, maybe a price evolution graph or something like that. That's all up for debate. Yeah, that's also basically the buildup of this dashboard. So the main view, the home view, is kind of a dashboard view. So if we ever find that we need some other metrics or stuff that we want to put there, we can just move one of these blocks and create basically like a new module, as it's called in coding. So that's pretty neat. And then of course we have the previously mined events directly under the currently mined one, where we can find the values organized by ID, and then right below with the collapse expander, the miners who mined on that specific event on that specific ID. So that's kind of the buildup, and that's how we came to this redesign. And of course, maybe key feature was also that it is mobile now. So if you're looking on an iPad or on your phone, you can still find all the Tellorscan goodies. So that's it. I'll pass it back to you, Nick.
Super cool. No, well, I mean, this was your first project, right? As far as Web3 goes with React?
Well, the first with Tellor at least, yeah. It was
Okay.
just the second in total, so yeah.
Cool. And the only question I've actually gotten on it so far is when dark mode.
Well, I specifically scratched the modes because I think like a good design should be like functional for everybody. And I guess we deliberately chose to go with the light theme because there's so much data and your eyes are scanning through it. Like the dark mode is still a little bit heavier on the eyes to find your data or to scan over it. So I guess that's why we went along with it. Also, we always try to like make a balance between the light and the darker part. So maybe if we add a module that really asks for like a dark background or whatever, we can still add that there. So
to be
Cool.
fair, Ben, I think that question was just from Nick.
okay. Okay, that's cool. I mean, as you see, we got an answer.
He loves the dark mode on everything.
Okay, yeah. I never switch to dark mode, so that's probably why I left it like that. Yeah, I never use a theme switcher anyway. I always think like the designer should make a choice and then like stand by it or whatever. So
We'll put it on the wish list.
oh yeah, okay, cool, yeah.
Awesome. And then I know, so for anyone listening, if you are a developer and you want to help out to sort of help make Tellorscan better, that's super cool. And you're allowed to, but anything on your wish list, Ben? Anything you wish you had more time for?
Yeah, I think some graphs would be cool. Some historic like some historic price dates, but that's also like we have to check how that data would come in. But I think that would give a nice overview. Like if we're mining a certain ID for a long time, that it would be cool to see it like evolve over time. I think that would be something nice to work towards, I guess.
Cool. Yeah, so if anyone else is interested, let us know. Now I guess we can do the questions. Mike, are you handling that?
All right. Just a few today. The first one is, what are the visions of the TRB project in the coming 10 years?
Man, like Bitcoin was just started 10 years ago. Like we can't do that. I mean, hopefully we're still around. Like if Tellor's still around over 10 years, it means we actually made an impact, hopefully, and um, somebody's we're sort of a cornerstone of DeFi in my mind at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you looking forward to most for Tellor X?
Um,
Well, we haven't shared. There's things that I have in mind that we haven't really shared yet. So
yeah.
I think we'll just have to wait for the white paper release, and then we can talk about it.
Yeah. I mean, most people know that we're kind of moving to more of a staking piece. So we won't be doing proof of work mining. So I'm really just hoping that we can almost use how we structure the code and everything to get more users, but also grow our community. The number of people who are providing data and who are voting on things.
Yeah.
The more active just the community can be. That's what really changes the feel of a project. Like even if you have more, more liquidity or something like that, like yeah, you have a little bit more money to spend, but like what actually if you can actually build people who are a community and who are doing things, then it's actually fun. So
Yeah. Next one says, "Good project, thank you. What blockchain networks is Tellor on?" So we're obviously on Ethereum, but we have deployed the fellowship on Arbitrum, Polygon,
Finance,
and Binance Smart Chain. And we're in discussion.
Matic. Oh yeah, Polygon. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. So, but should be a couple more coming down the pipe soon, depending on those conversations. So, when will the new white paper be released? Do we have a firm date on that?
we do not have a firm date on that. We're having we're going over some of the final details. I would say next week sometime. So end of next week. We'll go with end of next week. We'll release the draft to you guys if it's not ready because I'm done waiting. So we'll force ourselves to do it.
Yeah. It's written. It's in the final stages. We just, anytime you release something like this, you want to make sure it's edited and,
Yeah.
of course you guys are going to be reading it with a fine tooth and comb. So, um, we're being extra careful. How do we vote on the Tellor Ample integration? So I'm actually unclear on it because they're still transitioning. Like there's part of their governance process that they haven't fully moved yet. So uh, we're waiting to find out how this works as well from them from on their end. You can go to ampleforth.org/governance and you can see like how it's supposed to function. And when it gets down to the voting parts, it's still work in progress. So I think that there are only certain situations that are going to go to a vote. And I don't know if that's necessarily going to be the Tellor proposal, if it's going to be something voted on or not. So we're going to find out. Right now, we're in this sort of discussion stage of it. And so, like Nick said earlier, the more you guys can join in the discussion and move that forward, the better it is. So, and as I get more information, I'll be more than happy to share those details. Certainly, if it does come to a vote, we want everybody to sort of get involved. This is a question about the Uniswap pool. The TRB ETH that I supplied to the Uniswap pool is stuck and can't be withdrawn. Do you have any suggestions about how I can withdraw it? So who should he reach out to? This is Orion.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible they've already emailed tokenswap@tellor.io, but if you haven't, go ahead and do that, and then we will run the batch migration.
Or or shoot me a DM. It doesn't, there's very, very few of these at the moment. So just feel free to shoot any member of the team a DM and we'll help you out.
What the total supply and max supply of Tellor TRB? For now, the circulating supply is 1.7 million. Our total supply and our circulating supply are basically the same. Depending on, I think CoinMarketCap might be subtracting out the multi-sig, like the tokens that we have in our multi-sig. They might be subtracting that out from the total supply and giving you the circulating supply. But those tokens aren't locked up. We regularly, sell those to fund the project. So they are, I would consider those as part of the circulating supply as well. So that number is 1.7 million roughly, and we have no max supply. I know there was some confusion over the last couple of weeks because CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko had a max supply that equaled the circulating supply, and that, I don't know when they did that, but I think when we did our migration transition to the new token, that switched. They added that total supply or max supply number in, and it confused everybody. We've hence had them remove that. So now it should just say no max supply or just like a blank, because we have no max.
Yeah, that's because we continue to mint every time there's every time we add data, we have to pay the miners and TRB is created. So just like ETH, that's the similar way that you can see our supply as.
Yep. And that's it. No more questions. Thanks, guys.
Well, we got one in the
Oh,
in the chat. It says somebody asked about what we thought of the Vitalik podcast. If you guys saw, Vitalik was on the Lex Friedman podcast, and he was talking about, I think, SHIB coin, where SHIB airdropped him a whole bunch of coins that ended up being worth money. And what he said was, I think he said, like, that SHIB isn't the first project to do this. There was actually a weird project called Tellor, Tellor, who did it previously, and that was all he said. But it was super funny because he spelled it out. Tons of other projects have done that. I don't know. I'm on the conspiracy theory he was showing Tellor. I have no idea. We've
just
obviously.
yeah, it's like that weird
Yeah.
project Tellor, www.tellor.io, wink, wink.
But to be fair, we did not send him any of the tokens.
Yeah. We.
So yeah, someone else did, which was, interesting marketing, I suppose.
Yeah, we had nothing to do with it, and but it turned out cool. And we've also never talked to Vitalik about Tellor, so maybe at some point he can come find out about us. And I'd love to hear his thoughts on it. What's wrong with it? So
Absolutely.
anyway, yeah. Thanks everyone for joining. I'll talk to you guys next week.